Today, we're diving into something that most people barely give a second thought to, the penny star. That tiny little 1-cent coin, which many of us end up tossing into jars or leaving behind at the checkout counter. But did you know that this little coin has a huge story behind it, a fascinating history, and can sometimes be worth more than its weight in gold? Well, maybe not gold, but you get the point. From its humble beginnings to its status as a pop culture icon, today we're going to uncover everything there is to know about the penny, the 1-cent coin, its history, its value, and some truly rare pennies that are worth more than most people could imagine. Let's get started. Our journey begins in the late 18th century when the United States was still a young country, establishing its economy and financial systems. Back then, there was no standardized national currency. In fact, each state was producing its own coins, which led to confusion. In 1792, the U.S. Congress passed the Coinage Act, creating the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. This act established a standardized system for minting coins across the nation, and that included the creation of the very first U.S. 1-cent coin. The very first penny, called the chain cent, was struck in 1793. The design featured a chain of 15 links on the back, symbolizing the 13 original colonies plus 2 newer states. The front of the coin depicted a young Lady Liberty. Over the 19th century, the penny went through numerous redesigns, each reflecting the nation's changing political and cultural climate. However, it wasn't long before the mint replaced the Flying Eagle cent with the Indian head cent, which would become one of the most iconic pennies in American history. The design on the obverse depicted a portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse featured 2 wheat stalks, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots. But here's where things get interesting. The 1909 Lincoln cent was the first American coin to feature the initials of its designer, VDB, on the reverse. This caused a public outcry, and within a short time, the mint removed the initials from the coin. Now, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent is one of the most valuable coins ever produced. Only around 484,000 of these coins were minted, and in good condition, they can be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $100,000 or more. The penny didn't change much throughout the 20th century, but in 1959, the U.S. Mint introduced a new reverse design to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This new design, known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, would remain in circulation for over 50 years. The reverse side featured the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which became one of the most recognizable symbols in U.S. coinage. However, in 2009, to celebrate Lincoln's 200th birthday, the Mint issued 4 different reverse designs representing different stages of Lincoln's life. These coins were released for a short time as part of a special bicentennial series. By 2010, the reverse design of the penny was simplified to a Union shield, representing the unity of the states during Lincoln's presidency. And that's the penny we know today. But here's the surprising part. While pennies are still in circulation, it actually costs the U.S. Mint more to produce a penny than it's worth. Did you know that it costs the U.S. Mint about 1.7 cents to produce a single penny? That's more than its face value. In fact, in 2020 alone, the Mint spent over $230 million to produce pennies, an expense that many argue might not be worth it in the long run. Despite this, the penny remains in circulation, used in everyday transactions, and continues to play a small but important role in the U.S. economy. But here's where things get really interesting. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, some rare pennies are worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Let's start with the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to zinc-coated steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a few copper planchets were mistakenly used, and only about 20 to 30 1943 copper pennies were produced. Today, a 1943 copper penny is worth anywhere from $100,000 to over $1 million, depending on its condition. Next up, we have the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. As we discussed earlier, this is one of the most valuable pennies due to its rare production. In top condition, it can be worth between $50,000 and $100,000 or more. And don't forget about the 1877 Indian head cent. Only about 852,500 of these were minted, and in excellent condition, it can be worth $10,000 or more. So, what does the future hold for the penny? With the rising cost of production, many people have suggested that it might be time to phase it out. Some countries, like Canada, have already discontinued their smallest coin, and there's been ongoing debate in the US about whether we should do the same. Whether the penny survives for another 200 years or is eventually phased out, one thing is for certain: it's a piece of American history that has stood the test of time.